Trying. There you are.
What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
That was weird.
That was weird. But, hey, we're here now.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, welcome to my channel. And now I'll turn it over to you as the would-be host, since your channel didn't cooperate with me.
Yeah.
It's like a channel takeover.
Seriously. So first off, congratulations on the new book.
Thank you. Inspired by your work.
I appreciate that. Did you see it yet? Have you seen the book yet?
Literally, I just posted like maybe half an hour ago.
You got your copy.
HQ, and a box showed up today. I actually didn't think I was going to see it until tomorrow when I get to SHOT Show, because I've got some copies waiting at the Venetian for me. So yeah, this is the first physical hold. The toddler Pincus was looking at a copy of it earlier. I had read her the electronic version, but she hadn't held the physical copy, nor had I. You actually had a copy before I did.
Yeah, it's funny because when you texted me and told me that your book is going to be coming out,
right?
I think it was Tuesday morning. So because we have the same publisher, I kind of know how it works. So you said it'll take a couple of days, but I know sometimes that means that it can be like 10 hours from now or 2 hours. So Tuesday morning, I went onto Amazon. I didn't see the book, and then like a few hours later, I figured I'm going to go check again, and there it was. And
yeah, you literally were the first person. I found out it was on Amazon Live because you sent me that screenshot.
Yeah, so it was yeah. I love the book. Let me go grab my copy. I actually threw it in my suitcase so that I can get a signature on mine.
All right, while you go away, so everybody, we're talking about the new kids book. My daddy has a gun, and my mom does too. This was actually inspired by the work that the Pew Pew Jew has done. His publications for kids over the last couple of years have been definitely impactful and definitely inspiring for me, that I thought, this is something I could do. And I think maybe jokingly, in the conversation with him and some other people, it's like, hey, you should do that too, Rob. And in my head, immediately, like, yeah, why not? And there was a lot more that went into it than I thought. I'm not an artist by any stretch whatsoever. So the concept was mine, and then the words in there and kind of the description's mine, and I approved the art, but I needed to find an artist. And so I was just kind of a little backstory while you were gone, how we get here. Talk a little about your work first, if you would, just for people on my channel that don't know who you are and what you do.
Yeah. So I am an author. I got into the business. I'm trying to grab one of my books. I got into the business about 3 years ago. January 9th was my 3-year anniversary. For those that don't know, the reason why I got into it is because I lived in Los Angeles. I had 2 kids, married, out of the house. My parents found out I owned guns, and they freaked out. And it led me to write my first book. It's called Safety On. And it basically is an introduction to the world of firearms for children. It touches on all aspects of gun safety. It goes much further than what the Eddie Eagle program does or Project Child Safe. And really just encompasses everything. And when I first got into the industry, I'm looking at who are some of the most well-known firearms instructors in the country, and Rob's name came up, and I reached out to him, and he graciously endorsed my book after he read it, and we just kind of became friendly, and then over the years just became friends. But that's what led me to write my first book, and now I'm up to 6 books, just finished my 7th book, and I'm gonna be trying very hard in the course of this week to get sponsorship for my next book. So
yeah, and honestly, like, people follow my social media. I just posted a little video of toddler Pincus, used to be baby Pincus, at the trampoline park earlier tonight. We were hanging out, but she really, I think I sent you a picture or maybe a little video of her like looking through the book, and she's only 4.5 now, right? So she was
right.
Like 2, 1.5 or 2 when your first book came out. And
yeah,
I remember her just like, going through it and looking at this little picture in my mind. And then when ABCs came out, that was another one that, and by then she was able to actually go through the ABCs.
Right.
Which was cool. And it definitely, like I said, so your work inspired me. So the last thing I wanted to do was do like to do a, I can do a gun safety book for kids too, or something like that. And I thought, well, what would complement the work that you've done, and Julie Golub, a lot of other people that have done books for kids. And this one, specifically is one that I think is supposed to be like a conversation starter to inspire conversations or to make conversations kind of better or more realistic about guns in our society. So the idea is, that's what the collage on the cover is that the girl, right, the grade school age girl goes through all the people in her life that have guns for recreation, for their job, for protection, obviously. And it starts with, her dad has a gun that he keeps in the house in case bad people try to get in. And then it's got like a picture of, the guy going into basically like a tactical walls type drawer that opens up. And then there's the stuff along with the gun that he uses potentially to protect the family.
Right.
And I thought, I don't think anybody's done that in particular, that kind of a thing. And I see it as being, safety on in this book. Boom,
right.
Here's a nice set that gets kids educated about how guns are in our world, not just for the negative outcomes that we hear in the news all the time.
Right. And I love the idea when you told me about it, because in my Safety On book, as well as my 27 Words book, which is a history of the Second Amendment for children, both of those books touch on the different type of people that carry firearms.
Right.
But not what you did. You went much further in terms of that path and really explained not just different people who carry firearms, but that there are different types of firearms out there, whether it's water guns, paintball guns, BB guns, you named every type of firearm out there and different type of people who might carry it. So what I love about that is that it actually takes a children's mind and says, look, even toy guns people have, but you still have to treat it as if it's a real gun. And that's how you start the safety protocols and the safety procedures, by having them do it on the toy guns and the fake guns.
Yeah, the line in there is, and I'm sort of, I don't think I follow the traditional path on that, because I do try to make it really clear that you can't tell a 4-year-old that you have to treat the water gun like a real gun, and then at the same time have fun at the Memorial Day picnic at the pool when telling the kids it's okay to squirt each other with water guns. Like, that doesn't work. I'm really adamant that you cannot tell kids never point, and you can't point your finger gun, because that's like the kid getting thrown out of school.
Yeah.
Right? So water guns, you are supposed to point to people. I get in trouble sometimes. I get like the guy that's like, I saw one of your instructors pointing a blue gun at somebody, and that represents a gun. That's what they're for. NLTA, you're supposed to shoot people, right? Paintball guns, you're supposed to shoot people. Airsoft. So that's in the book, right? The kid that plays paintball, and it says when they wear the proper protective gear,
exactly,
they each other and they have a lot of fun. And I think the line is, I think it's the water gun where she's not allowed to use it, the niece or whatever, she's not allowed to use it in the house. And the kid's voice says, I think all guns have rules. Right?
Here.
Same rules.
It says, my little niece even has her own gun. It is a water pistol that she plays with by the pool. She is not allowed to use it in the house. I think all guns have rules.
Yeah. So I think contextually, like, I want to plant that seed because it's something I deal with in the training community. You can never point a gun at somebody. Well, I'm supposed to point a blue gun at somebody. I'm supposed to point a Glock 17T with some munitions ammo when I'm wearing the proper protective gear. That's literally supposed to be pointed and shot at somebody. So we can't oversimplify what is a complex thing. And I hope that this book starts to plant that seed and make the conversation, like I said, more realistic for people. So, but I really want to just shout out to you. I appreciate you supporting the concept from day one and not being sort of like, hey, Rob, I do kids books. Don't get in on my territory. Very welcoming to the idea of something to complement what you do. And obviously very supportive this week. So.
No, I appreciate that. And one of the things that I'm always asked is, what's one of my end games? What's one of my goals to my books besides education? And I always say inspiration. We need more positive reading, whether it's reading, whether it's anything that's positive that shows kids and guns in a positive light, as long as it's proper, everything is done properly. I want to inspire others to get out there and do things. So, having you write a book like this and you telling me that, hey, you inspired it. I mean, that was one of my goals from the beginning. And it really means that I'm doing it. I'm doing the right thing and I'm actually making a difference. So
100%. This book would not exist if it weren't for you and your work. I mean, to the point where obviously I had worked with Skip and Whitefeather before with a book I did with Mark Walters. That connection was there, but it was a no-brainer to follow your lead and work with Skip and with the same artists that you've used, and it made it so much easier for me to do. Right, like I had to have a unique concept for Skip. Skip wasn't going to, do a parallel book that you've done with me, just on it. So it was, but it was really very, very, very gratifying, and then humbling for you to have said, some of the stuff you did about just being glad that I endorsed your book. Your book was great. My child benefited from the existence of your book. Why wouldn't I be inspired by that? It was super cool.
Right. Well, I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with your book at SHOT this week. Like I said, I'm bringing a ton of my books. I just finished writing my next book, so I'm hoping to meet with 5 different sponsors. My next book is actually not gun related, but I'm hoping to meet with 5 different sponsors, trying to raise about $5,000 for the book. So I'm excited, and yeah.
Very cool, man. Well, congrats on everything you've done and your success. And I know that you are, I don't know, some people like the word influencer, some people detest it, some people shy away from it. You influenced me. You're an influencer. I see other people responding to you. You're a leader in this community now. Like, you're a voice that people listen to, and you're just doing great things. And here comes Toddler Pincus. Hey, say hi.
Hey, big girl, how are you?
What do you think? Okay, tell them what you think of the book that you're on. You love it? Is that what that is? Oh, that's nice. You don't want to tell anybody about it? No? Okay. What was your favorite part of it? All of it? Okay. You want to say goodbye? You just want to hang out? All right, you can hang out. There's all kinds of super cool comments down here. TK Angel Fire. Oh, there's an endorsement. Her favorite book is this.
That's good.
So, TK Angel Fire, I appreciate all the comments you've had. There was one in here was pretty interesting. Syed, PSYD 76, child psychologist here. So happy you did this. Not an easy topic for parents to discuss. And absolutely, like that. I wanted to be easy. And again, I get that probably not a lot of anti-gun parents are going to buy this to have an educated, fair discussion with their kids, just as much as, I don't think any friends that we have are going to run out and buy an anti-gun book and read it to their kids.
Right.
But I do hope that there will be people in the neutral space. I think that this book is pretty clearly not political. It's a statement of a bunch of facts and the ways in which guns are ubiquitous in our community, in our society, in our culture.
Right.
And it recognizes that, there are, I didn't want to put, the spree killer uses guns to kill my friends at school. Like, that wasn't going to be a page.
No, for sure.
But at the same time, in my kind of epistle to the reader, right, like my intro to the parents, it says, regardless of where you are on this issue, and I hope that this book helps you talk realistically to your kids and have a fair and open discussion with your family. And I couldn't resist putting in that intro paragraph, if you do have guns in your home, I implore you to prevent unauthorized access, and keep them from, kids. And I couldn't write the book and not put that in there.
Right.
It's not a safety book. It's not a family or parents guide to owning guns. It's not that kind of a thing. But that had to be embedded in there, right? And I hope that that's recognized. Like, I hope that I don't get made fun of. I guess in some ways I do hope I get made fun of on the Daily Show or whatever, right? Like, because it'll help book sales. But I hope that it's just not something that somebody would pick up and mock without at least acknowledging that, it's done in a context that is healthy. Like the child psychologist saying, like, that's just a great compliment to me in a way that's healthy and fair and all that.
And it's interesting that you said that, because with my first book as well, if you read the Safety On book, it is not political in any way. And I specifically designed it because one question that I'm frequently asked is, well, we don't own any guns, or we're anti-gun. Why should we even care about your book? And my response is like, do you take your kid to the park? And they're like, yes. Like, are you glued to your child the entire time? Or are you checking your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook, Snapchat, whatever? And, the parents are like, well, we might look down at our phone for a second here or there. I said, well, in that second, what happens if there's a gun in the bush and the kid's ball goes in the bush? What's your child going to do? And they always turn white as a ghost.
Sure.
And because they know the answer.
Yep.
They know the kid is going to pick up that gun and pull the trigger. It's
why one of my safety standpoints is a gun in the hand is better than two just left unattended in a bush.
Right.
For sure. I think that's in there too in the intro, or it's on the back cover or something. It's like one of the things that's always frustrated me is the idea when I talk to people in the education world. You know, I lament the fact that we don't have gun safety education in school. People ask me, one thing you would change. If you could change anything to make the world safer as far as guns go, what would you change? I would have mandatory firearm safety education in grade schools. And it's not a political thing. It's not like Eddie Eagle gets attacked a lot for that. I get it. Like, it comes from the NRA, so people are going to be skeptical.
Right.
But the education piece, without the politics, without the endorsement, the way I look at it is this, and I have this conversation with educators, like, look, sex ed, well, it's very controversial, it's political. Okay, how about sex education, right? Like in Georgia, that's pretty, controversial.
Right.
So, I mean, but yet it's taught. Why? Because unprotected sex is dangerous to kids, not only from the STD standpoint, but also from the teen pregnancy, derailing your life standpoint, all of that. So we educate about it. Smoking, drinking, drug abuse, abusing prescription pills along with illegal drugs. We talk about all of this stuff. We teach kids her age how to hold scissors, right, by the blade, and scissors. So anything that's pollution, we talk about pollution with our kids because it's dangerous to us in our sight.
Right.
Everything that's dangerous, we justify any getting past the controversy and just look past that. We need to make our kids safe. Okay, well, guns are dangerous, right? Guns can be dangerous. Well, of course they can. Why aren't we talking about them in schools? Oh, it's too political. And that is infuriating. So here's a way to open up the door to that conversation. Again, as a gift, you've got that anti-gun or on the fence, or they don't own guns, they don't care about guns, family member or friend. I've heard people say, like, well, I'm going to leave it at the doctor's office. I'm going to leave it at my kid's, pediatrician's office. I'm just going to leave one of these in the lobby. Maybe it'll get thrown away 2 weeks later, but maybe not. Maybe it'll just sit there because it's not an agenda book. It's an educational awareness, advocacy of serious conversations, realistic conversations. So I hope that more people see it than just inside of Gun World, although it'll be fun inside of Gun World too, to get people's experiences after they read it. Because one of the things that is, maybe you're already pro-gun and you shoot trap, but you're gonna read through the book and you're like, what? I've heard about this 3-gun, this person that has 3 guns and competes. Maybe I'll try that now. Or the kid will say, I want to try that. What's this airsoft, the uniform? I want to try that. Cool.
No, I agree with you on all that. I mean, it's so important to open up everybody's eyes, whether it's in the gun world, out of the gun world. And in terms of firearms education in schools, I can't even begin to tell you, for the last 3 years, I've desperately tried getting my book into schools in Texas. Anytime you hear there's, counties all over the country that have started firearms education, I've reached out to the people, the congressmen, the city council members, never heard back yet. And it's infuriating. On one hand, I understand why they don't acknowledge it, but at the same time, even the ones who are passing the laws are saying, oh, we are going to start educating children in school. I'm like, well, I literally have the manual. Like, my book is my book is the perfect book as the what are books called in school? It just slipped my mind. But
the curriculum, the textbook.
The textbook. Right.
Textbook.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Like, my book is the textbook for firearm safety for ages 6 to 10. But you can only do so much, and you just keep on plugging away until all you need is one bite. So
that's it. And that, like I said, I think these 2 books together, right? Like, okay, here's the book that makes the conversation. Why are we learning about gun safety in school? Well, because guns are everywhere. Because if you stop and think about it, even if you don't like guns, you probably know a cop, a hunter, you have a family member that owns guns. Your grandfather had a gun that got left to your sister, and she's got it in the closet. Like, it doesn't matter, right? So, like, here's the book that explains why we're having a conversation. And then once we're having the conversation, here's the book that teaches your kids the safety things they need to know for when they find a gun at the friend's house or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. And then that's why I'm actually very excited for your book as well, just because it really does complement my books. And I'm excited to see how this year goes with our books,
Yeah, and we'll find some ways to collaborate and do some sales, I'm sure, some promotions. But meanwhile, some people asked where to get it. It's on Amazon. I don't even have Toddler Pincus ran away. Hey, Cindy Lou. Cindy, can you bring me the book? No, she's keeping it.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. That one. My Daddy Has a Gun. It's actually still the #1 new release in the children's safety category. And I think it's still in the top 5 for bestsellers in that category, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Makes a nice screenshot. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, we'll see what happens over the next week. I'm sure a lot of people, I'll be talking to different media people. Cheryl Todd, we're going to be talking about it. Mark Walters, we're talking about it. Some other people at SHOT Show. There's a lot of things going on, obviously, in gun world, and this is just one of the things I got to talk about this week. But it's
right.
kind of the coolest new thing that I don't think anybody saw coming. And I had, talked about it, maybe a couple years ago, 18 months ago originally, and it with Skip, and it just took a while. Not as long as the P10, I got it, but it's taken a while to get it to market.
Yeah, no, it's a great book, and I'm really am excited to see what happens with the book this year and how it grows and see what people's reactions are going to be. I think it's an important book, and just do me a favor if Shannon Watts comes after you with that book. I tried getting my book to her a million times.
Oh, don't worry. She lives right down the street over in Boulder. Like I've invited her to lunch or a drink or something. She never shows up. But if she decides she wants to get together and talk about my book, I'm going to make sure she knows this book would not exist were it not for your work.
Okay, because I was on Coley and Noir's show when my book first came out, and we were talking about Moms Demand Action. Did I get my book to them? I said, I've tried. He goes, oh, you haven't been blocked yet? And I'm like, no, not yet. He goes, look, by the end of this interview, you will be blocked. Lo and behold, end of the interview, blocked from Shannon Watts. And I was just like, oh, come on. Like,
I'm still not blocked, so I don't know.
You're not blocked on Twitter?
Not blocked, no. I'll check again, but maybe I am now. Now that I'm hanging out with you.
Well, I want to make a shirt that has it looks like a bunch of people at a barbecue, and it says, welcome to the Shannon Watts block party. But
burpee accident and like all it's got to be caricatures of everybody, right?
Well,
so
like different gun owners.
If you're gonna do that, then I'll invite her to lunch again and see what happens. Maybe I'll get blocked.
That would be awesome.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time. I know.
Yeah, of course.
On the Saturday night, I will see you. If not tomorrow, I'm sure we'll bump into each other on Monday.
Yeah, I'll be at range today. So.
All right, I'm teaching at SHOT University on Monday. That's the reason I'm not going to be in Virginia and Richmond. Best of luck to everybody who's going there. Be careful, be respectful, be responsible there as gun owners. Really proud to see all the grassroots advocacy that's going on. A lot of people have asked, what about the people like us who are going to SHOT Show and doing this thing instead of going to Virginia? I got to tell you, what makes Virginia powerful is grassroots Virginia gun owners, everyday citizens and voters in Virginia showing up there. Honestly, I feel like if I were to go out there and do the live or do the photo op, that would be kind of, self-serving and gratuitous on my part. It's not about the leaders that are there. It's about the people, tens of thousands, hopefully, of Virginia gun owners. So I applaud you. There will be plenty of great leadership there. Timothy Knight's going to be there, a bunch of great people. And I know Eric, IV88, he's going to be down there, 8888. He's going to be going down there and coming to SHOT. So there's going to be a lot of great people there, but the people that are the most important in Richmond are the gun owners of Virginia. I applaud you.
100%.
Getting out.
100%.
You, man.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Later.
Bye.